I am recording.
I am recording. Ba, ba, ba.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 636th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. With me is Hannah.
Hi, I'm here in the same place as when we last recorded. Yep.
Travel.
Time
Bobby
travel.
also here.
Hi, I also in the same place this is when we last recorded, although that is not as much of a surprise as it is for Hannah to be in the same place multiple times.
That's
in a
fair.
row.
That's fair.
It's true. The only time we've ever gotten Hannah in the same place twice. Okay, so if you listen to last week's episode, I said that I'm traveling and this might be messy because we're trying to record 2 before I travel, even though I'm still taking my equipment with me just in case. But by the time this episode goes up, the embargo I signed should be lifted. So that's perfect. That's great because we have a whole episode to talk about Pokemon Pocket, which will probably be the majority of this episode. So there might be a YouTube video up specifically about Pokemon Pocket, depending on how much work I got done this week. But that would just be like me without Hannah and Bobby. And I think that I'm sure Hannah and Bobby have a million questions about this game. So before we get in, just full disclosure, the Pokemon Company did pay for my flight and hotel to New York to play Pokemon Pocket. The other part of the disclosure is I don't have to talk about it. I don't owe them anything. I didn't need to make a YouTube video. I didn't need to make a podcast. I didn't need to do anything. It was just, we're inviting you out to play this game. If you want to do stuff, cool. If you don't, also cool. So that's usually what it is. The only time the Pokemon Company at this point has ever made me do something was Worlds, where I was required to tweet, I think, twice, and then post on Instagram twice, and then do a YouTube video, which I would have done anyways. They asked me to do things I would have already done, so it kind of worked out. So yeah, I went to New York. I played Pokemon Pocket. I played for 3 hours. Actually, they pretty much gave us I don't know. It was like a Google Pixel. I don't know what kind of phone it was. They gave us a phone. It wasn't a Pixel. I think it was actually a Samsung.
Gotta get the phone right. Was it a Samsung Galaxy? Was it a Google Pixel 9 Ultra or XL?
Bobby, you are asking an iPhone person.
Was it a Fold? Was it a Google 9 Fold?
It did not fold. It did not flip. It did not twist. It did not bop it. There were 3 cameras on the back in a vertical format.
Oh, that was a Samsung then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It felt great. The phone wise, a good build quality. I've been to a bunch of Pokemon events in New York. I feel like anytime if I've ever saying I'm going to New York, it's probably because Papa Pikachu wants to show me something. But when I played the DLC for Scarlet and Violet, that was maybe 30 minutes. When I played Pokemon Sleep, that was, here's a hotel room for the night, play Pokemon Sleep, and then do the 15 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
This was the longest event they did. They did a presentation, a little keynote PowerPoint kind of thing where they explained the game. They gave us phones. We could do whatever we wanted for I think it was about 2-3 hours. And in the games, you could have unlimited money. So you could just keep buying coins, or you could buy the accessories. So
I want that phone.
Yeah. Give me that edition of the game with the unlimited money part. And then at the end of the day, I think they broke us up into 3 groups because there was also media there, journalists and stuff. Mm-hmm. So journalists, some content creators. There was 3 groups that got to sit in front of one person from DNA. I could be wrong. I have to look at my notes. They're not in front of me, but I think it was 1 person from DNA, 2 people from Creatures, and then 1 person from the Pokemon Company. Japan, not international, the Pokemon Company.
Oh, okay. Wow.
They were all Japanese guys, is what I'm saying, and they had the translator. We could ask them questions, and they would answer. And if we were told if they couldn't answer any questions, somebody would step in and be like, you can't answer that. So I believe one of the creatures guys not interviewed, but when I was in Japan and Pokemon brought me to creatures, I believe it was one of the same guys. I can't remember, art director or something. I'll pull up the notes as we're talking, and I have a bunch of notes. The one rule we had, and if by the time this podcast goes up, there'll probably be a bunch of YouTube videos out from anyone who was invited to the event. The one rule we had is we weren't allowed to record the phone itself, which makes capturing content really weird, because I could be like, I pulled a Pikachu, it was immersive art card, but like I can't show that I did.
Yeah, you
Right.
weren't able to get screen recordings?
No, that was a very strict rule that you couldn't record the screen of the phone. You could record yourself playing, but like,
I mean,
but you couldn't show the screen at all.
Yeah.
if it's anything like TCG videos tend to be, everybody just wants to see the reaction of someone that pulled something good anyway, right? So, did you have any good reactions? Maybe you could use those.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, like the space to play. I mean, I make content different than other people make content, obviously, but the space we played in was kind of like a rooftop bar area hosting
That's
event.
cool.
It's the same place
where the Switch, when they initially made the Switch announcement, and they had the commercial where the people see the other people on the rooftop having a party, and they go bring the Switch over there, like that.
Yeah, it was exactly
Cool.
like that. We were all wearing very cool clothes.
Yeah.
We were very hip. It was the same space as the Pokemon Sleep event. So, they had like oh, you know what they did have? They had like the little finger food, right? They had people walking around with like little like shrimps and stuff. Very
Nice.
whatever.
Fancy.
Yeah, they had like a open bar, I guess. Because some people got like wine. But the space was really small, so when they sent us on our way to be like, all right, you got like 2-3 hours to play the game, play as much or little as you want, a bunch of people just started recording themselves, like talking and stuff. So it was I don't make content like that. Like I don't know, I just wanted to play the game and not be like on and I just wanted to go through the game as much as possible to like get through as much as possible and then have like formulated thoughts afterwards. And again, if I have a YouTube video up, and you're watching on YouTube, it'll be in the corner or something and you can watch that. But yeah, I think I also probably did the battling a lot more than other people. I did as many battles as I could. There was a tutorial for that. I'm sure you guys will have questions about that, but yeah, I played it for about 2 to 3 hours. I was sitting next to Real Breaking Nate, which is another TCG YouTuber, and at one this is how I feel about the game, is what Nate said to me. We've been playing the game for about 2 hours, and he looked at me and he goes, "I thought you would be more critical about this."
That's a good thing.
And I was like, I'm trying to find things to be critical about, but it's better than I ever thought it would be.
Wow.
It's like genuinely so good. And I am so excited for when it drops on October 30th. Like I kind of thought like, is it going to be more like Pokemon Go, where it's going to be like this secret huge hit and like so many people are going to download it and it's going to get carried away? I was like, it's going to be Pokemon Masters where people are excited for it like for like 2 weeks and then it like kind of had like a hard drop off. And obviously Masters reworked a lot of things since then, where I think Masters is in a good place, but I don't think Masters did a good job at recapturing those people that initially played and then kind of fell off. Is it going to be Pokemon? Is it going to be like Pokemon Sleep, where it's like, if you don't want to do the core thing of sleep, you're already out, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're like Pokemon Sleep has a big ask of players, which is we want your sleeping data, and that in itself is already going to turn away people. I would argue that Pokemon Go also has a big ask. We want you to leave your house. I'll tell you right now, Pokemon Pocket requires no sleeping or no walking. So the barrier to entry to that, very, very low.
In fact, it's probably better if you're not walking or sleeping. You probably play more of the game.
You can't. And I would maybe say it seems like this launch is going to be very conservative in the way of like they have what they have in mind, which is at the start, it seems like it's going to be collecting. There will be 3 different sets you can collect from. If you saw what I played at Worlds, which was like just open a booster pack, that was like the whole demo experience. It's those 3 sets. It's like a Charizard set, a Mewtwo set, and a Pikachu set. I mean, the point of the game is collection. They said that the Pokemon and creatures both said this. The core concept of this game is to collect and to finish your collections. And that while there is battling, and the battling works, there's no like ranked mode for battles. There's no ladder to climb. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm talking a lot, so I'll let you guys ask questions, but we'll circle back to everything.
I guess I'll start. So like, yeah, to your point, just going off of that, like when I looked at the Pokemon Pocket website, there is no mention of battling. Like the marketing is all in on collecting, and they literally, if you look at that website, they don't mention the word battle in the website. So
yeah, they haven't showed it off at all.
Right. So how is the battling? I mean, you just said it was good, but like, is it complex? Is it long games? Is it quick? How is that?
It is everything I want in TCG battling. It is incredible, and I cannot stress this enough. It's so good. And I know there were questions about like, why does TCG Live exist if Pocket exists? And they're so different. So for those that don't know, TCG Live is the current Pokemon online product that replaced Pokemon trading card game online. And it is full battles, right? It is your 60 card decks, 6 prizes, your time limit, ranked mode. There's no trading in that. There is collecting, but it's not really about collecting. It is about if you have more than 4 cards, you crush those cards into dust. You buy the cards you don't need because you're building decks and you're battling. That's it. That's what Live is. Live is not available in most Asian countries. It's not available in Japanese at all. When you buy a pack of cards in America, you will get a little code card. You can redeem that code card to get packs in Live. The code cards do not work in Pocket. That question was asked to I keep wanting to say Game Freak. That question was asked to Creatures and the Pokemon Company. They have no plans of making those code cards to work. There's actually nowhere in the app to even enter any kind of code.
That's a little surprising.
So it's the same for Masters and the same for Sleep. There's just nowhere in those games to enter any promotional code at all. Unite has a place for promotional codes, and Pokemon Go,
Unite
I think
and Go
does on Android. They do not on iOS.
Yes,
because of Apple's rules.
Go online, yeah.
So there's no place to enter codes. So if you've been waiting to save your code cards, I got that. That's your bad news. That's it. There's no way to redeem those code cards. I said for months I didn't think there was going to be because of this is being a worldwide product, and those code cards are not worldwide at all. So here's how the battles work. They're 20 card decks. So the regular format is 60 card decks. You don't have any energy in your 20 card deck. What happens is your game will generate 1 energy card a turn that's not in your deck, and then you can place that energy on a Pokemon like normal. So the energy is pulled outside of the deck and it's in the corner and it will generate. Now, if you're just doing a pure fighting deck, you're just going to get fighting energy. If you're doing like a fighting electric deck, the game will generate 50% fighting, 50% electric. And you can see the next energy coming up. It's kind of like Tetris, where you can like see the next block. So like if you're playing fighting electric and you specifically need a fighting energy, but the current energy you're getting is electric, you can be like, okay, well, I need one colorless, one fighting, so I'll place the electric here, and then on the next turn, I know I'm getting fighting, and then you can see the energy following that. So you're always getting an energy every single turn, which then your 20 card deck is just Pokemon and just trainers, supporters, stadiums, all of that. And in a normal TCG game, you can get 4 of every card. So, 4 Blitzel, 4 Zebstrika, 4 Rare Candy, 4 Professor Oaks, 4 Biancas. Obviously only 1 A-Spec. In this, you can only have 2 of every card. So 2 Blitzel, 2 Zebstrika. So 2 Professor Oaks, 2 Ends. The Ends not in the game. But like your supporter cards, 2 like Pokeballs. And because of this, there are also no prize cards. So in the main game, again, I'm just explaining this to people who maybe have not played the TCG, because I think they'll want to play this, because the current TCG can be very intimidating. 60 cards, 6 prizes.
Not just the current TCG, the TCG in general has always been intimidating for some people.
Yeah.
For sure.
So there are no prizes. So normally in a TCG match, you're shuffling your 60 cards, you're drawing 7. Once you have a basic Pokemon, you're then taking 6 cards, placing them face down for prizes. And that's, some of your cards that you might need might be in your prizes. This is, there's no energy. You have your 20 cards, you shuffle, you draw. I think you're drawing 5, not 7. And then when you get a knockout, you get a point. And the first of 3 points win. So a regular Pokemon is 1 point, and a EX Pokemon is 2 points. So it makes games go relatively quick, but it also kind of changes the way you think about how games work.
Okay.
But in results, it ends up being shorter, and it's really its own. It's obvious. It's very different, right? 20 cards versus 60 cards. It's different enough, but it still feels like Pokemon TCG in a way that's like probably similar to people who play Magic, where they'll play Commander, or they'll play Standard Magic, or they'll play Legacy Magic, or they'll play.
Yeah, that's a really good. I haven't played Magic in a while, but I feel like that's a really good comparison, because I have been playing Marvel Snap in preparation for Pokemon Pocket to come out, just to kind of compare them, because a lot of us have been saying this sounds like Snap, and I hadn't played it before, and now that I'm hearing how these battles actually work, this sounds a lot more like Pokemon in a good way. It doesn't sound like Marvel Snap. It sounds, like a similar game in some ways. There's still quicker battles, but this still just sounds like a reworked, faster Pokemon TCG in a really, really good way.
Yeah, there's in the regular TCG you have a bench of 5, and this you can only have a bench of 3, so it does make you consider what to put down. And I also have to stress that like there are so many cards that are exclusive to Pocket, like cards that will not exist in the real world,
right?
Like that Mewtwo card they showed off,
The immersive one.
Yeah, the immersive one.
Okay.
And those cards will generate a totally different meta in Pocket because they're exclusive to Pocket.
Right.
Which there is no ranked. So battle-wise, you can do random person in the world. You can just play them, battle them. I don't know if there's rewards, because when I went to go battle somebody randomly, there's no one to battle because it's only like the 20 people here playing.
Right.
But there are no rewards. You can battle a friend. So I can just be like, hey, Bobby, you want to battle? And then there are AI battles just against the CPU. Not like AI as in like chat GPT, like just like CPU battles. Yeah. And the CPU battles are, they have like, that is kind of like Pokemon Masters. It almost exactly like Pokemon Masters. It'll say like easy or beginner, and then when you beat that, it'll unlock novice, and then when you beat that, it'll unlock expert, and then when you beat that, it'll unlock super expert. I don't know the rankings. So that is like right out of Pokemon Masters of, we want you to do a battle, but if you don't like battling, you can just do the easy mode like 3 times. Now, the cool thing about the CPU battles is that they do come with rewards, and there are missions like in Pokemon Go of like, you know how Pokemon Go's like spin 3 stops or battle 1 trainer. Like your daily missions will be like do 1 battle, and so like you could just do the easy battle and then you get rewards for it, and you'll get missions every day to do that. So I went through there's also like limited time missions, which if you play Pokemon Masters, this is exactly what Pokemon Masters does. There'll be like 2 weeks limited time battles against like Skyla or something. So the limited time battles was against like some Lapras deck, and I went through the easy, I went through the medium or whatever. I went to all the way to the hardest, and the hardest is the first time I lost, and I was doing just a grass deck, but the Lapras was weak against electric. So when I lost to Lapras at the final one, it suggested like you should maybe build an electric deck. And I built an electric deck with like the auto deck thing, like really easy to just say like I want electric and then just auto build, and it will take your cards and it will try to build you a deck.
That's cool.
And then you go back in and you do it, and you can do it. And not only did I beat it on the hardest difficulty, but you can beat it on the hardest difficulty or any other difficulty in certain ways. So it will, like for the Lapras, it was like 5 achievements. I think I wrote them down. But one of them was like beat the Lapras on the hardest difficulty without taking damage. And then you'll get bonus rewards. So it gives you a reason to like go back and be like, oh, I want to do this again, but I'm going to try to do it with a different deck because I don't want to take any damage. Let me see what we have here. Okay, so it was called Lapras EX Genetic Apex. Win a battle with no gold stars. So a gold star is like rarer cards for you. Okay. So it's saying beat this entire battle with just basic common and uncommon cards. Win a battle by 12 turns. Win a battle with the opponent getting no points. Win 10 or more battles. This is a very Masters. Like do this thing 10, just do it 10 times. And then win 20 or more battles. And I think it said the Lapras thing was like 2 weeks long. So I did that, and I didn't do 20 battles there, but I was like, cool. Like I beat it like 3 times after losing to it once. And then you get different rewards on like completing it, but also completing those little submissions. So even though there is no ranked, it seems like the battling is already great. And obviously when they add more cards or they add more whatever, that only gets easier and easier. We did straight up ask them in our Q&A if ranked battle was coming. And their response was pretty much, we know that certain players will want a ranked battle mode, so we're thinking about it.
Okay.
Which is
that's
like
very specific, yeah.
Yes, but it actually makes sense after playing it why they wouldn't launch with a ranked. One, because like they want to make sure the game is working, but two, after spending $200 of fake currency, right? Like I just bought the $100 thing twice in the game because it was like free because it was in demo mode.
Right.
And I opened a bunch of cards. When I was going against that Lapras deck, I didn't have like a electric EX Pokemon, right? So like I couldn't build a better deck against the Lapras just because I didn't have the cards for it. So I actually think it's really smart not to launch with rank. I don't know if I think this is intentional. Because like if you launch with a rank right away, all you're going to do is encourage a bunch of people to just spend as much money as possible to get as many cards as possible to then go on ranked and just dominate people who didn't. And I think the safer and smarter thing is like, let's just like let the game exist for 4 and 5 months.
Yeah.
Let people build up collections without that stress of needing to spend money. And then when we launch a rank, people will have decent sized collections at this point. Yeah. And now they can go into ranked without feeling like it's pay to win.
Well, and on top of that, they're letting people learn how to play the game, right? So even if you've played the TCG for years, this is different than that. So it's learning a new strategy. It's learning how to play this game. And I think it's better to do that without people trying to jump right into ranked battles. So everybody kind of has on equal playing field of learning how to play the game. And then, down the road, they introduce ranked. And it's like, cool, if you've been playing the game, now we're all kind of in the same place where we know how this works and we can jump into ranked and play it that way versus like just going right off the bat and not really knowing what you're doing. And then, and that'll still happen. That would still happen down the road. It would
Yeah,
get
I
new
mean,
people to play, but like at least you'd have a foundational player base that it knows what they're doing to start and then would be able to jump in that way.
Yeah, jumping into ranked is, at least from my experiences in things like Pokemon Go or Marvel Snap, kind of gets demoralizing once you hit kind of the first ceiling of where your skill level is at. And especially if it's right in the beginning while you're still kind of learning how to play and
Yeah.
kind of learning the meta. I think that this is good for the beginning of the game.
yeah, I think it's really smart for them to be like, we just want to make sure that people enjoy. I think that's why they haven't advertised the battles that much.
Yeah.
Because I think there will be a big. This is just me guessing, and based off the questions I've asked and their responses, it does make it seem like, yeah, we know people will want ranked, and it will probably eventually come. We can't say that though, but it does seem like when ranked does come, it will be a big update and it will be exciting for those people who want it. But I think it is just, I don't think it needs to be there at launch. I think people need to build up their collections. And then even though like, decks are only 20 and you only need 2 of 2, like I said, I opened probably 50 or 60 packs. And I didn't get any electric EX Pokemon that I could put in my electric deck.
Right.
So I don't even know if there were EX electric Pokemon, but the Lapras was weak against electric, so that's what I built.
Right. So 20 card decks makes a lot of sense, especially with being able to open 2 packs a day for free. How many cards are in each pack? I mean, I know you did the thing before we opened it, but
yeah,
it's the same. They didn't change that.
Each pack is 5
Worlds.
cards. Yep.
Okay.
To answer the question about like every 2 packs a day, it is every 12 hours, like we suspected.
Okay.
So you just don't get to like log in and be like, oh, here's my 2 packs. I'll see you tomorrow. I believe they said there is not like a there is a timer to it. So how packs work is the game I want to compare this the most to is Clash Royale. Okay. I don't know if anyone's played Clash Royale, but it is technically a card game where you build a deck out of cards and then you place those cards in like the playing field and then it turns into a little guy and then they walk across, right? It's like a combination of like a tower defense / card game. But your decks in Clash Royale are cards. But everything in Clash Royale is timer based. And so like when you do like a little chest to open up, it'll say this chest will open in 6 hours. This chest will open up in 12 hours.
Yep.
Your pack of cards in TCG Pocket it'll say 12 hours. And that's where the money aspect comes. So you can spend money, just like in Clash Royale, to make that pack of cards open quicker. And then I think if you let it go 12 hours, it will then start the next 12 hours. So you can at least bank 1 pack.
Got it.
So if you do come back in 24 hours after opening a pack, you should have 2 packs there. But the next pack won't start ticking until you open at least 1 of them.
That got it. Okay.
So if you don't play the game for a week, it's not like you're just not going to hold 14 packs. You're just going to hold the 2.
Right. Right. So does that mean maybe you don't know the answer to this one, but does that mean that none of us are going to actually be able to play on day 1 because we don't have 20 card decks yet?
Or I'm sure they have a starter deck.
I think there are 2 starter decks you can just use.
Okay. Got it.
And then I think you can go into those starter decks and adjust a couple cards.
Cool. Okay.
I think we could talk about the money aspect, which is I guess the one, it's not even that a negative, but I guess it could be a negative. There's a lot of currencies in this game.
Sounds about right for a mobile game.
Yeah.
There are, let me just double check here.
It's gonna
Sounds
be like
about right for a
47
Japanese mobile
currencies.
game. Yeah.
There are five currencies, I think.
5?
So there's shop tickets obtained by completing missions or set up battles, can be redeemed for cosmetic items and accessories. There's emblem tickets obtained by completing themed collection or dex missions. A dex mission might be like collect 4 rodent Pokemon that may look like Pikachu, right? So it's like, Dedenne, Togedemaru, right? There's those. Those can be, the emblem tickets can be redeemed for emblems that can be added to the player's profile. There's special shop tickets, which can be obtained by consuming high rarity cards in My Cards. These can be redeemed for special accessories. And then there's event shop tickets, which can be obtained by completing event missions, disappearing after a certain time. I think that would be like the Lapras thing I gave an example of.
Right.
Can be redeemed for limited time accessories. And then there's the thing that you can actually buy, which is Poke Gold. And the Poke Gold, 1 Poke Gold can reduce the wait time to open a pack by 2 hours.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so since a pack is 12 hours, that's 6 Poke Gold technically.
Right. And
You also get pack hourglasses, which can also reduce the pack time, and the hourglass will be used before the Poke Gold is spent. So you would get the hourglasses from like doing your daily missions or like doing the battles. And then 5 Poke Gold would be 99 cents. I did the math on this because I bought a lot of cards. Ultimately, a booster pack in this game is going to be about $1.20, which to me is way cheaper than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, honestly, that's not bad.
Sure, but you can't spend $1.20. You have to buy a pack of 99 cents. So you have to buy basically $2 worth.
Yeah.
And then you have some leftover in order
Yes.
to do that.
So there is a open 1 pack or open 10 packs. And you can open 10 packs at once, and the animation for that is so cool. It is like the one thing DNA, who is the developer of this game, also made Pokemon Masters. They're very good at like opening things and the noises and the sounds and the animation. It's so cool opening 10 packs. So opening 10 packs would be about $12 to open that. And just to put in perspective, a regular booster pack right now, if you walk into Target or Walmart or Best Buy or GameStop, is $5, and that's 10 cards. So that's why I thought like really a booster pack was gonna be like $2.50 or $3. But it's $1.20 booster pack. It's about $12 for 10 booster packs. Again, there's no easy way to get $10 because that would be 60 gold, but the $10 purchase is only for 50 gold. Because a $5 or a $1 purchase is for 5 gold.
Right.
So you do get like, I think if you buy, I wrote this down. I think if you buy 50 gold, you know how like all mobile games is like, if you buy, the more you buy, the more bonus stuff it adds on.
Yeah.
So if you buy, 99 cents is 5, $9.99 is 50, but you get plus 7. So you're 3 Poke Gold short of 10 packs. Because you need 60 for that. And then $99 is 500 plus $1 plus 190. So there were like Pokemon Unite did this where it was like your first time purchase, you get like double the amount of Poke Gold or whatever. So there is that at the top, like first time purchase, get extra Poke Gold. And then the normal prices 99 cents for 5, $10 for 57, and then $100 for 100 or 690.
So can the Poke Gold be used to purchase anything else, or is it only to make time for packs, basically?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, the answer is yes.
Yeah, when you mentioned accessories and cosmetics earlier and haven't talked about that too much. Is that
Let's take a break. And when we come back, I will talk about the The way this game will make money, I don't think is packs. I
Mhm.
think the way this game will make money is limited time cosmetics that you will want, and they will disappear in 2 weeks. I think that's how this game makes the most money. So we will be right back. And we are back from our break. Okay, cosmetics. So there are things you can buy using the 4 different tickets I described. So, for example, there are some supporters and item cards you can buy.
Oh,
So, like, if you were like, oh, I just need like the Koga supporter, you could just buy those out for 2 tickets. And like I said, you can earn tickets by just playing the game. The emblems, like changing just your profile picture, those were 100 tickets. And I think they had like a Pikachu one, a Charizard one, a Mewtwo one. They were matching kind of like the booster packs that exist.
right.
Did they all cost money, or did you have a selection of free ones?
You have 6 free ones when you start the game. I think one was like a Pikachu, one was an Eevee, one was a Slowpoke. There were coins and card sleeves you could buy. Those were 12 tickets. The play mat was 26 tickets, and then there was like a backdrop / cover, which was 7 tickets. I'm actually not 100% sure what those did.
Mm-hmm.
And then also in the store, there was a Gardevoir bundle that was $22.99. So that came with a Gardevoir coin, a Gardevoir playmat, a deck box, some sleeves, other stuff. And then it also came with 120 gold as well.
Oh,
and they said that this Gardevoir bundle was limited for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But the Gardevoir bundle doesn't come with any Gardevoir cards. This is
No, it
all
was
just
all
accessories.
cosmetics. This is why I think
Got it.
before the break, I think the way this game is going to make, because you could probably easily spend $300. You have nothing to do now when you complete the sets
On this mobile game.
You
so
do.
that's something. But
but like when I think of like collecting or the TCG stuff, like I would spend at least $200 every 3 months. I would buy 2 booster boxes. That's what, like 70 some packs. I would open them all up, and then I would be like, oh, $200, and I'm not even close to completing this collection.
That's true.
Yep. This is why I never got into TCG.
Yeah.
So I think I don't want to bring up like spend $300 and you're done. I think this game is so free to play friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they are charging money is just cosmetics. And it really reminds me of something like Apex Legends, where it's like you can just play the whole game for free. But if you want your Octane to have a different skin, $20. Now your Octane looks different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Like, it doesn't make you a better player. It doesn't like change anything. It's like purely cosmetic. So like you can play this whole game for free. But if you really love Gardevoir and you're having a good time with the game, and in the 2 weeks before this Gardevoir thing goes away, you're like, I want to give this game money. I do think they're just going to rotate out these bundles.
Yeah.
And they do show, like when I'm battling the computer, I had like the Eevee playmat. So when it was my turn, the whole like board like flipped over and it went back to Eevee. And then when it was their turn, it like flipped back to them and went to their playmat. So it's like really cool animations on how it works.
Yeah. So sorry to back up a little bit. Like we're talking about like, so you're saying, if you spent $300, let's say let's say you did complete a set. Did they say whether sets are going to go away, or like when the next sets come out, will the initial sets still be around to open?
Ooh, that's a good question. That was not asked.
Really? No one asked that.
No one asked that. Now that you
that's
said
like
that.
TCG, like collector specific. Like, do these go away?
Yeah, I don't think they would go away. One of the questions that was asked was, how frequently will sets come out, and will they be tied to IRL sets? So like what's the next set coming out with
Surging Sparks?
If Surging Sparks comes out, are you releasing an equivalent to Surging Sparks in the game? And they said no. They have no plans to coordinate or line up with the current TCG. They will release sets at a pace that feels correct. And it seemed like they genuinely didn't know the answer. Like, we don't know how fast people rip through sets, or like we don't know if it's
Yeah.
too soon
That's fair.
or
I mean,
In a lot of
Yeah.
ways, this is a whole new game.
yeah.
hmm Yeah.
There were also other limited time things that you could not spend money on, but that would go away. So, for example, they had with your premium tickets, which was one of the 4 currencies I talked about. With the premium tickets, you could cash those in for a Meowth set. So it was like a Meowth coin, a Meowth card playmat, a Meowth binder. Like pretty much everything I say is like coin, sleeves, playmat. And it was the Meowth that was the Meowth featured in like I think it was like either Jungle or Fossil. It was like the Meowth like licking his paw on the pile of coins.
Yep.
So that was limited time, but you couldn't spend real money to get it. You needed to spend tickets to get it. And then there was also with other tickets, there was a Mewtwo one. So that Mewtwo immersive card, there was a deck box, card sleeves, playmat of that Mewtwo immersive card that would also be limited time of like, this is going to go away. And you need to spend the premium tickets for that too.
You said a word, and I just want to like make sure that it wasn't an accidental. Maybe it was. You said a binder. Did you mean to say something else, or do you can you actually get a binder when then you have a binder you open?
Yes, there are I didn't do the binder thing.
Cool.
I didn't know where to find it. But there are binders that you can put your collection in a specific binder.
That's cool. Oh, that's really cool.
There was also
Do you have to?
You don't I think if you don't change the binder cover, it just says like genetic Apex Pikachu, genetic Apex.
It's just a generic binder, but you can get like a custom binder or like a themed binder.
Yes. There's also a place in the game where you can present a card. And I think they said you can present up to 8 cards. So if one of your friends goes to your profile, they can see like your top 8 cards that you've presented.
Nice.
And you can get like a different cases to put those 8 cards into. And that is more cosmetics that you can like purchase or earn. So you can have you can have a friends list of 100 people, and if I click on Bobby's profile, I could be like, oh, Bobby pulled the genetic Mewtwo, but also he has the Mewtwo case that it's in his like room.
Yep. They just started
They really went all out.
They started doing that in the real TCG. There are collection boxes where you can buy now that come with a they're like these magnetic cases. They sell like regular clear ones, but they have these ones that are like it's themed. So like there's a Charizard collection box and the case is like a fire type. So it's like fire. The design of the case is like fire type, and you can put your Charizard or whatever or anything in there. But it just feels very much like that. So it's kind of themed, customized look when people look at your stuff.
So if you have 100 friends on your friends list, what all can you do with those friends?
From my understanding, you can send them a battle. You can look at their collections, and maybe you can trade them. The one thing that was not working was the trading. It was completely grayed out. And we were told beforehand that a lot of questions regarding trading would probably be shot down as no, as they don't want to talk about trading right now. So the game will not launch with trading, just to be clear.
Which is wild, because it was very heavily part of the first trailer for this game.
Yes. They said trading is coming.
Trading card game.
But it's not launching. There were questions asked about trading that they didn't shut down. So one of the questions was, do I have to be standing next to the person to trade? And their response was, you do not need to be standing next to them to trade. I don't know what that means.
Right.
Is there still a certain distance?
Gated distance.
Yeah, that was
like,
not the best worded question.
I don't. Their answer was very specific though, so I don't think if we worded it any different, they were pretty much like, you don't need to be local to trade. Which in the
Okay.
trailer they showed somebody trading on a bus, right?
Yeah.
When the other person was in a coffee shop. So I don't know. This is just speculation. I don't know if they need to be on your friends list, or you need to be friends for 7 days, or is there even a cooldown on trading? Can you only trade once every 24 hours? Or
Right.
can you, like, there's so many questions about trading that they wouldn't have answered if we asked. But they did.
Honestly, they probably haven't worked through it all yet
But
if the feature's not done.
But you don't have to be standing next to the person. The question I asked, which I will take credit for because the entire room went, ooh, after I asked it. So I know the question was good. I said, if I go to Korea and I trade somebody I'm standing next to in Korea, because I assumed that it was like local trade, right?
Mhm.
I go all the way to South Korea. I'm trading my genetic Mewtwo for their genetic Mewtwo. Their Mewtwo is obviously in Korean.
Mhm.
Mine is in English. Do I get that Korean Mewtwo, or does it change to English for me? And they did answer it, and they said, you will get the Korean Mewtwo, and it will be
Oh.
in
Really?
your... Yes. And it will be a Korean
Wow.
Mewtwo in your game. And so you can collect all the languages. They said that will work. But the
Wow.
only time the language will change is when you're in battle. It will change to English by default. And then outside of battle, it will still be in Korean.
That's so
so
cool.
good.
So you can still play it. You can still play it no matter what language it's in, but then you
Yeah.
get to collect it in that language.
That's why the room went, ooh.
Oh, that's
They were
so
also, that was
good.
the only time, I'm so proud of my question. That was the only time I saw them smile too. Like they were like genuinely excited that somebody asked that question.
Oh yeah.
That is, yes. That
Yep.
is amazing.
That is a detail that is so important, honestly.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm so
Um,
glad.
Wow, that's so
Yes.
cool.
So again, that really opens up like do I just friend somebody in Brazil and do we just like trade every day so I can start collecting Portuguese cards? Like it really does open up like how does trading work? But I'm surprised they answered that question since we were strictly told like they don't want to talk about trading at all. But they were very
Happy
excited to
about
answer
that.
They were
detail.
happy to tell you that answer because it's such a good that's such a good feature.
Yeah, they just told us the trade is coming soon. There is
Okay.
like a trading thing that it's not a trading thing. They show it in the preview, but they don't explain it. It's called like Wonder Trade or whatever.
Mhm.
Ultimately, like every day there will be a Wonder spot. And do you know what's that guy's name in Pokemon Go? Mateo.
Mhm.
You know how Mateo just trades you somebody's random gift?
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
exactly that for but TCG. You will see somebody's random booster pack that they opened, and you will see those 5 cards. And then if you want to participate, those 5 cards will get shuffled, and then you can pick one of those 5 cards. So if those 5 cards have like a card you don't have, you're
Mhm.
doing like a 20% chance that you might get that card every day. And obviously, if it's a pack of 5 cards you already have, you probably just wait until that refreshes for something else.
Mhm.
But it's supposed to be like a random person's pack in the world you will see, and if you want to participate, you will spend currency that you will earn just by playing the game to open a Wonder Pack, which is, I mean, obviously, if there's like 5 cards and you don't have any of them, that's 100% chance you're getting a card you don't have.
Yeah.
A lot of people seemed excited about it. It just seemed like its version of Mateo, its version of Wonder Trade, its version of Surprise Trade.
Yeah.
That is like another way to get you to come back to the game to check, to be like, oh, what is today's Wonder Exchange? It's Wonder something. Wonder Pick is what it's called.
Wonder Pick. It's not the word I would have thought,
all right.
but okay.
Somebody asked a question of like, is it what it like? How does it determine the person next to us? And they just were like, it's completely random. So it's not like if you're standing next to like Bobby and Bobby just opened a pack that I could be like, oh, let me Wonder Pick from your pack. Maybe in the future it'll be like you can Wonder Pick from your friends list or something. But it just seemed like this
trade.
is just,
hopefully in the future you just trade from
you.
your
Yeah,
friends
you could just trade.
list. So
Yeah,
you don't need to
this just
wonder
seemed
it.
like its version of like Surprise Trade or
Mhm.
or Mateo.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which honestly sounds good because Mateo is fine. We've had the ability to friend people all over the world for a while now, so it's not that exciting, I would say, in Pokemon Go. And Wonder Trade in the main series games is kind of risky. So I like the sound of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Real quick question though: when you open your pack, what determines which pack you're opening? Like, there are 3 sets out right now? When you
Yep.
open your daily pack, do you get to pick one of the 3 sets,
Yep.
or do you? Okay, so you do get to pick each time. It's
Yes.
not You're not just randomly getting one of the packs.
No,
each
yeah,
time.
you got to completely pick what you want to open.
Okay, got it.
They do show offering rates. They have to legally now. So Pokemon Masters shows the offering rates. I'm trying to think of what else. Technically, Niantic doesn't have to because of how that works.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Because you're not
Sure.
like buying eggs, you're just getting them, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Niantic is doing a loophole for the record, but like,
Yeah, I think so. That's okay.
there are offering
Moving on.
rates. So your first 3, so 5 cards in a pack, the first 3 are never going to be anything exciting.
Sure.
The 4th slot has a 2.57% chance of a gold star card, a 0.5% chance of a 2 gold star card, a 0.222% chance of a 3 gold star card, and then a 0.040% chance of a gold crown being the rarest card of them all.
Okay.
The 5th slot is a 10% chance for 1 gold star, 2% chance for a 2 gold star, 0.888% chance for a 3 gold star, and 0.16% of a chance for a gold crown card.
So can either slot be the same card?
That's a good question.
Like,
no one asked that.
So because this is very reminiscent, obviously, of the actual physical packs, right? You're gonna get 7 quote unquote. I'm gonna say boring, but they're not boring. I just like, so there's common, uncommon cards.
Yeah.
And then your 8th slot nowadays, you have a chance at an A spec. Your 9th slot, you have a chance at a 2-star or a 3-star. It's the illustration rare slot.
Mhm.
And then your 10th slot, you have a chance at a full art or like an irregular EX. But you can't get an illustration rare in the 10th slot. You can only get one in the 9th slot. So like in this game, could you get like, say, that immersive Pikachu in the 4th or 5th slot, or are
I
you
believe
only
so.
gonna?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the immersive Pikachu is a 3 gold star card.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what the gold crown cards are for each, because you can, so when you look at the offering rates, you can see the card next to it.
Oh,
So
okay.
like they're not hidden. Like, you know what the gold crown card is.
Sure.
Just like in Masters, like Mass Royale is like a 0.257% chance or whatever in this pack. I'm not allowed to talk about any cards they haven't officially shown, but
Okay. Got it.
But
So-
yeah, the gold crown is the rarest.
Right.
But the genetic Mewtwo they showed and the Pikachu illustration they showed, those are both the ones you dive into.
Mhm.
Those are not crowns. Those are 3 stars.
I just wonder why the percentages are different then. So like if it's a 4th slot 3-star 3 gold star card, that percentage was different than the 5th slot
Yes,
3 gold star card.
The 4th slot is more rare, and the 5th slot is more of a chance to get the rare stuff. But you could get 2 gold crowns in a pack. It's just the 4th slot would be 0.040% of a chance, and then
Right.
in the 5th slot it's a 0.16% of a chance.
That's so interesting to me that they do it that way. So like you could get the immersive Pikachu in the 4th or 5th slot, but like there's just a better chance you're going to get it in the 5th slot than the 4th slot.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
And
right.
there is nothing is changing. So it's like if you're missing like the gold, if you're missing the immersive Pikachu, let's say you got like 200 of the other cards, it doesn't like increase your chance of getting the immersive Pikachu.
Sure.
The numbers are
Yeah.
the numbers, right?
Yeah.
There's no like, there is pity in the game where if you spend enough points, you can cash that in for a card that you don't have. I don't know how many points that is, but there is no like, my luck is getting better the more I pull.
Just in your mind. Just in your mind.
Yeah. And speaking of pulling on packs, there is a limit. So you are only allowed You are only allowed to spend 720 gold a day to reduce pack
Yeah,
opening.
okay.
I want to say that 500 gold is $99.
Uh-huh.
So you
Okay.
are allowed to spend about $150 a day before the game goes. You've spent too much gold.
Mm-hmm.
You need to wait.
That's actually kind of surprising to me. Not because I expect many people to spend $750 a day on one mobile game, but it's
But
not
somebody
out
will.
of the realm of possible. Like there are people who that's not that much money to them. So like it's kind of surprising that they do cap it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if so. What I said with the Mewtwo limited time, the Meowth limited time, the Lapras battles that I did, I don't know if those limited time events will 100% launch on October 30th. They
Sure.
they did show up in the game. They did say limited time. Lapras was like 2 weeks. The Meowth was 2 weeks. I think the Mewtwo was like a month. None of those are set in stone. I just want to be clear. Like I maybe when it launches, the Lapras will be a month instead of 2 weeks, or maybe the Lapras is the second event and there's going to be something else in
How do
before
you
it. Like
launch a game on October 30th and not have like a Gengar set to start it off or something. Like, come on.
but it will launch with genetic Apex Pikachu, genetic Apex Mewtwo, genetic Apex Charizard, and that is correct.
Okay. I was super confused about that. I was
Yes.
looking for like another set name somewhere that is not like a second and a third set name that is not genetic Apex.
Oh, yeah. So again, I can't talk about cards that have not been
Sure.
released, but
Yeah.
the genetic or the Pikachu immersive card is only in the Pikachu genetic Apex set.
Got
The
it.
Mewtwo card is only in the Mewtwo set.
That's,
I can't tell you what's in the Charizard set because
Sure.
it hasn't been released, but you could maybe make a guess of what that's going to be.
That's that's so interesting. That almost feels like when the Scarlet and Violet sets came out, you could buy an Elite Trainer box, right? That comes with packs. You could buy the Scarlet one and the Violet one. Now the packs inside could have the same cards in them, but the thing that was unique is the Scarlet box came with a promo card that was only in the Scarlet box, and the Violet box came with a promo card that was only in the Violet box, right? Like you had to buy like both of them if you wanted each of those promo cards. It almost feels like that's like this. It's so the set is genetic Apex, but there are 3 different like towers to it, and each of those is their own collection that you can then collect.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great start. There was also they have no plans to bring this to the Nintendo Switch. That was asked.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if they were going to bring it to the Apple Vision Pro, and they all laughed, and they were like, "It runs normal apps, so you could play it on it if you wanted to."
Yeah.
Right.
There was no specific. It was like an Apple Vision Pro plus like iPad question.
Sure.
And they were like, "Well, the iPad can play the game anyways," but it didn't sound like they had plans to like optimize it for tablets or optimize it for iPad.
So I was going to say the Mac will be able to play your iPhone. Will be able to mirror your iPhone going like next year, and then you could play it through it that way too. So
yeah. The game will have similar logins like Pokemon Sleep or Pokemon Go. You can log in with Google, Apple ID, or Trainer Club. I think it's either Trainer Club or Nintendo. I can't remember which one they said. There are settings that you can change it from 30 frame rate to 60 frame rate. You could change it to performance mode, or you can change it to high quality mode. Those settings existed.
I mean, makes sense with like the fact that you're like showing off cards, and it's gonna be that you could have that nice smooth experience with all the different transitions and animations they'll have.
It sounds like there are a lot of very satisfying animations in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did not. Okay, not Trainer Club. Nintendo, Google, Apple ID. So if you do want to move to a different phone, your account will be tied to one of those, assuming that you linked it properly. Their exact answer to ranked battles was, quote, "Something we have in the back of our minds for the future. We are aware players will want a ranked mode, and we will keep that in mind."
Yeah. Sounds about right.
And then another quote that I'll just say that they directly said was, "One of the goals was to make the collection aspect fun. Immersive cards stand out and can't be done with standard cards. The app is something we look forward to The app is something you can look forward to every day, even if you're just opening packs. And our core concept was to get more people to play with Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how they said, like, we just want people to play with Pokemon cards. It's not saying, like, we want people to collect or we want people to battle. Like, we just want people to enjoy these cards in whatever way they want to enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is very cool. They could, if they want an idea, though, they could do like a pop-up book with those immersive cards, like physically. You could do, like, the pop-up books where you like open the book and like a whole scene comes out. You could do that with like, that's how you could make them and turn them into like a physical card at some point in the future.
That would be wild.
That would be absolutely wild. But that is very cool. That's I like that quote too, because that does I mean, that kind of is like with Pokemon cards as well. Like when you're a kid, like a lot of little kids that get Pokemon cards, like they like playing with them and looking at them, and they might not play the game or know what trading is, or they want to trade because they like that thing
Adults
or whatever.
do this too.
I do this too. I do this. I'll like, that's why I said the binder thing was really cool, because like I will take out a binder and I will open that binder and just look through pages of cards, because it's just artwork and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I know I've said
like,
multiple times on this show that sometimes when I am just sad or having a bad day, I will reach over and grab one of my extra Pokemon card packs, especially from the Halloween bundles, because there are just too many there. And I'll just open a pack for fun to give me joy. And this game sounds like kind of exactly that.
Yep. Exactly. Except not as much mess and not as much cardboard.
I'm just looking through the notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. There is a premium pass. It's a monthly subscription. It is a subscription. It will renew like Pokemon Sleep or Pokemon Unite. Insert my complaint about Niantic here. The monthly subscription will be $10 a month. You will get one additional booster pack. So a total of 3 booster packs every 24 hours. I don't exactly know how that works with the clock
time
countdown, but you can try it for 2 weeks for free when it launches. It will give you extra premium missions, and those missions will offer a player a chance to obtain a unique promo card. So that would be kind of like your Elite Trainer boxes, and additional in-game items such as playmats, card sleeves, coins. Currently, promo cards acquired via the Premium Pass feature the same attacks and abilities of cards that can be obtained at no cost during normal gameplay. They are just highlighting an alternative illustration.
Yep.
So again, not pay to win. I say not pay to win, but it's a trading card game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like if you're playing Magic, if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, if you're playing Pokemon, you have to collect cards and then use those cards.
Yeah. And I mean, think about this. Like, if that promo card is a good card, you're getting it for the price of the subscription versus like the chance of opening it for free, right? Because that's very much like the regular trading card game. Like the cards that have different artworks, but they all have the same moves on them.
Yeah.
So you can buy the cheaper version of the card if you're using it to play, or if you're collecting, you might get the alternate art version. They have the same moves on them. So, but in this case, that the promo card, if it's a good card, you're getting it for the subscription price versus like having to try to pull it, right? So
yeah, and you can trade. Like if you don't want to spend any money, if you're missing one card for your deck, you can trade for it. Eventually, however that works out. Look, I beat the hardest whatever with no good cards. Like whatever the cards I pulled, I beat the hardest whatever. So maybe because I know. But let's say you don't like battling and you have some missions that require you to battle. We haven't talked about this. There's auto battling in this game.
Oh.
Ooh.
So you can build a deck and you can hit the little auto battle and the CPU will play for you. You will watch it happen. Now, there is no like speed up mode. Maybe hopefully they'll add that in the future. But the games are relatively quick anyways. I did it multiple ways. I did it where I did the full battle myself. I went in, I did half the battle and then hit autoplay. And then I started the battle, just hit autoplay. The computer made all the choices I would have made. Like the computer was incredibly smart. Like I was like, I would the only time the computer didn't do something where I was like, I would have just like got knocked out and like prepped my bench. The computer opted to like retreat something and promote something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I guess that's fine. Like you still win. It's just like, I would have just like, just take me out, just take the point. I'm prepping back here. But it was like the right call, I guess. Like it wasn't like the wrong way to play. It was just a different way to play. So you can completely auto battle. I think that's something Marvel Snap does not have, unless you have like I think there's like a specific card in Marvel Snap that will like auto battle for you.
Yeah,
I've
there
been
are
told.
some cards that do multiple turns of things, but it is not a game where you can auto battle, not like
Yeah.
Pokemon Masters or anything like that.
This is probably a no, but I'm just going to ask it. It doesn't learn your play style as you play more, and then when you auto battle later, it would like do it more how you do it.
You should have came to this, Bobby. You had good questions. No, I did not think to ask that question. I was just really impressed with how the auto battle did its thing. To be fair, I think the auto battle in Masters makes the right plays too. I don't know if the auto battle would have beat Lapras on the hardest mode, but I was on like the second to hardest mode, and it made the right plays. So
that's cool.
That's cool. Going back to the premium pass, I think we're almost done here. If you are to spend any money in this game, $12 gets you 10 packs. That's the math I did. That's how it shakes out. If you're going to give it $10 or $12, I guess, premium pass is ultimately going to give you 30 packs extra a month, assuming there's 30 days in a month. So, but that requires you to log in every day. I do think, like I said earlier, where if you don't have a premium pass, it will hold 2 packs and then the timer completely stops. This will hold 3 packs before the timer completely stops. So you do have a little bit more leeway in not needing to sign in as often.
I think you said this earlier, but does it change? So like if you're getting 3 packs instead of 2, does that mean your timer is 8 hours or is your timer still 12?
I don't know because I like signed up for it.
Right.
But like it didn't. I don't know if it was
work.
like it didn't work because it was like the game I was playing didn't care about money. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
But you do get bonus missions and everything. There are rental decks. There are custom decks. It's a totally new game. So if you're like, does this integrate with my current card collection physically? No. Does this integrate with PTCGO? No. Does this integrate with PTCG Live? No. It's its own thing. It's on its own schedule. I mean, somebody mentioned like, do you plan on doing like a Pokemon Go promotion like the other game? And they were like, yeah, we thought about it. Like there's like a lot of potential here, and like questions you would be asking would be like, I think right now it very much came across of, we just want to get this out here. We just want to see how people feel about it. We think we know the direction to take this in, which is like ranked mode, more collecting, more exclusive stuff, but you don't make those decisions until you actually see how people react.
Absolutely. That makes sense. And just to say it again one more time, because just to confirm this, the code cards we have for physical packs will not work with this game.
Will not work.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. I have one more thing to end on. This is my only complaint of the game, and I did ask them this. So when the TCG first released, there were item cards that people know, like Bill, draw 2 cards, switch 1 Pokemon with your active, with your bench Pokemon. These cards exist to this day. Like you could play a switch card from 1998 as long as the text matches and the title matches and the back of the card matches. You can play, people play like energy from Fossil set, right? Like, and so these cards have always done the same thing. Now there are some cards that have changed over time, like Pokemon Catcher used to be just you play it after Black and White ended. They changed it to flip a coin, so like you can't use those cards anymore because they did update the rule. But back in 1998, there was a card called Pokeball, and Pokeball was flip a coin. If heads, search in your deck for a Pokemon and put it into your hand. They changed Pokeball in Pocket to where it's just, it will randomly search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. There is no coin flip. So my question was, another card just before I get to my question was Professor Oak's Research. Now in the TCG, that's shuffle your hand into your deck, or maybe it was discard. I can't remember. or like discard your hand and then draw 6 cards, draw 7 cards. In this, it was just draw 2 cards, which is ultimately what Bill does, just draw 2 cards. And so my question to them was, you have all these iconic cards that have stayed with rules for 28 years, with the exception of some cards update and change the rules. Why did you not make new cards? Why did you change current iconic cards to this? And their response was, we knew that hardcore fans would know these cards really well and understand that the rules of these cards will change. But our goal was to simplify the game enough for anyone to enjoy it, but also to make the game go quicker.
Yep.
And teach you the basics. And you might know that this Professor Oak will let you draw 2 cards, but if you do decide to move over to PTCG Live or play in person, you'll just know that, oh, I can draw more cards because this is a bigger game.
Yep.
And Pocket is a smaller game. So they said any card that we revised, we still kept the core concept of that card. So that's why I said it's like kind of a complaint, because it's like,
well, yeah. So I was going to say, when you first set to the first one, where instead of searching your deck for something, it just randomly gives you one. I was wondering, are there going to be any cards that allow you to search your deck? Because that would take time. So they're taking that aspect out of it and then just giving you something randomly. So you're not actually able to look through your deck, take the time to see what you want to pull out.
I think you're 100% right. Every trainer card I had, which there was only maybe 6 or 7 that I saw in the game. And some of them were specific. Like Koga was like, search in your deck for a muck and add it to your hand. It was like Grimer or Muck, I think, was Koga's specific supporter. I didn't have any Muck or Koga or Grimer, so I couldn't even like put that card in my deck. But it just like Pokeball was random Pokemon from your deck. All the cards seem to search out a specific Pokemon or a random Pokemon per the rule, or just draw cards. Like it does not seem like you're going to be searching your 20 card deck specifically for you want. It does seem very... There's that's the RNG. That's the like, but it's a different game, smaller, shorter. Again, it did really remind me of like Clash Royale, where like you could sit down on the bus, in the waiting room, in the car, as somebody runs in to grab like a soda from the gas station, and you could complete a full game, and feel really good about it without like, look, if you played PTCG Live or you played TCG in person, that's like that can be a 20 to 40 minute game.
Yep. That is,
and I don't think any of these games could possibly last 20. I don't think they could get to 20 minutes if you tried.
That's really cool, because that is sometimes my complaint with TCG Live, or back when it was online. It's like I would sit down and think, oh, I want to start a game. And then I would think, well, I don't know that I have 30 minutes right now to play this game. Like, I just want to sit down and like play cards, but not for 45 minutes. you know?
And I mean, games like Pokemon Unite are kind of that way too. Unite is just a little bit longer, just a little bit too long to kind of sit in the car while someone goes in and grabs something from a store, and then you will still be playing the game. And with Pokemon Go, you kind of have to be able to go somewhere, unless you just want to catch the 1 or 2 Pokemon that are wherever you are. This sounds kind of like a good, relaxing, sitting in one place for a few minutes kind of game.
Yep. Definitely. And to your point about the answer they gave you with the making the game a little more simple and quicker, I love that they're keeping the core concept of some of those classic cards in there, because they could have just completely revised these things 100%, right? It's a completely different game. But the fact that they're taking those classic cards, keeping the core concept in there, is really cool as well.
Yeah. So no, I'm so excited about it. Like it was really hard to find anything wrong. Like I thought the pricing was going to be too expensive. I thought the game was going to be very money grabby. I thought the sets were going to be smaller or harder to collect, or like trading would be local only, although we don't know a lot about trading. Or the battle system would be like not interesting, or like not worth it. But like everything about it seems like they just knocked it out of the park. And again, the stuff that's missing, like the trading or like a ranked mode in battle, completely makes sense because like you just need to get it into people's hands so they can start growing a collection, so they can start playing, so they don't feel like they need to spend money to catch up. Obviously, you can spend money, but I think two packs a day, or even if you do the 3 packs a day, I think it's perfect. I think it just gives you time to log in, open packs, be like, dang, that was cool. Or like, oh, I didn't get anything good. That's okay. I'll come back later today. I'll do it again. Like, it just seems like, how could you be upset? Like, kind of thing. Like, it just like, it really feels like a joyful game of like,
yeah.
I can just, like, it's not asking a lot of time. It's giving me stuff. If I want to put money into it, I feel like there's value there. $1.20 a pack versus $5 a pack. If you just like, people like collecting. I think a lot of people listening to this podcast like Pokemon because you collect things. I don't know if you know that about Pokemon. It's a collection-based game. And that's what I've always wanted from the TCG personally. Like, obviously I played competitively for years. I've enjoyed competitive. I don't have the time to do 5 40-minute matches a night to practice to go to tournaments, but that doesn't mean I don't miss playing the TCG. And this mode just like scratched that itch. Like, this is just short games. It still feels like the TCG. It's like quicker paced. Yeah, I'm so excited for it. I'm like I didn't think anything could beat my excitement for Pokemon Sleep, but this game, holy cow! I'm just so excited for it to launch.
I hope it catches on.
I think it'll be huge.
I sure hope so. This sounds like it's going to be a really good game.
I think 2 packs a day and just the missions, and I think it's going to be huge. I think it's absolutely going to crush it.
Yep. I think there are a lot of one thing that, playing the game, the TCG, doesn't get a lot of the collectors involved. There are absolutely people who collect and also play the game, but there's a huge number of people who are collectors who do not play the game, because it's time. It takes a lot of time. It does, and it's fun, but it takes a lot of time, and it is definitely the barrier to entry. Like, there's a lot going on with it. It is expensive to play the game when you play the physical game. It's very expensive, and getting into it can be a lot. But there are a lot of collectors who like the idea of it that I've talked to, and so when they heard about Pocket, there's a lot of excitement in the collector-based audience that is excited for this game, for the things that it offers. So I think it is going to be. I think it's also going to be pretty popular, and I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah. Sorry, one more thing. The game does a really good job at teaching you how to play. It does have like a tutorial thing.
Nice.
I know this question's asked me all the time. Like, Steve, I want to get in the Pokemon trading card game. How do I learn the rules? And I would say like PTCGO and PTCG Live, both those games were really good at teaching you how to play. And you can't really mess up because the computer is like, you can't do this. You need to participate in the rules. Pocket forces you to go through the tutorial, which is a little annoying for me because it's like, I know how to play. Like,
except you don't know because this is a new game. That's
true. But everything they were showing was like, yep, this makes sense. Yep, I'll get my energy here. Yes, I'll do that. You have to go through it. It took like maybe 10 minutes to go through I think it's 8-step tutorial to go through. And then once you go through, there's an advanced tutorial. And at that point, you can just skip that and go right into battling, which is what I did. But
of course you did.
I didn't do the advanced, but you have to do, I think it's like 8-step for regular. So it does teach you. And I think this does accomplish that of like, maybe you never played the 60 card deck, but you really, really like this. It might push you to then be like, I understand how to play this game. I want to play the bigger version of this game now.
Yep.
Kind of like there are a lot of board games where like there's a big version of the board game and then they make like a mini 2-player mode of that board game. And they're like, oh, cool, I can play like mini version of Settlers of Catan with my like significant other. But if I want to play like the big version with 4 people, like I know the rules because I played the little version.
Yep.
So anyways, if you have more questions about Pocket, you can leave them in the YouTube comments below. I have a bunch of notes. I think we covered everything, but also Bobby asked questions I didn't think to ask the people. And I'm sure you have questions. The number one question I got was, will the code cards work? Once again, no, the code cards will not work. But anyways, if you're listening to this, it means I'm probably leaving Jakarta to go to South Korea. So if you want to see what South Korea looks like with Pokemon Go, I'll be there streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/PKMNcast. It'll be in the show notes. But if you want to see South Korea and Incheon's Park and GoFest and all, not GoFest, Safari Zone, all that, I'll be streaming on Twitch this weekend. So if there was any news and you were like, why didn't you talk about that news? It's because we recorded this early. That's why we're all wearing the same clothes from last week. So, all right, I gotta let Hannah and Bobby go. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Bobby. We will see you guys. I think we will be recording while I'm in South Korea that week. So,
Cool.
Nice.
It'll be normal time for you guys and 3 a.m. for me. And
Hopefully there will be good internet in the hotel this time.
I think so. I think so. Niantic not paying for that hotel, me paying for that hotel.
Yep.
Okay, we'll see you guys next time. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super hyped for Pocket. Effective.